Alfa, CP Comboios de Portugal, procedente de Lisboa, Santa Apolónia e com destino a Braga, que deverá dar entrada na linha número 1. Circula com um atraso de 5 minutos. A sua hora prevista de chegada é às 16 horas e 15 minutos. Pedimos a vossa compreensão pelos incómodos causados. Dentro de minutos, dará entrada na linha número 1. O comboio.
Intermédio do Darwin Nunes ao que abriu o marcador. Os adeptos acreditam. A luz pode explodir outra vez. E a luz hoje quem vai gritar o golo. Se a bola entrar, vão ser os adeptos. Eu depois vou acompanhar. Ai, ele vai atirar. Ele vai atirar. Ele vai atirar. Ele vai atirar.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining another edition of Benfica After 90. Got my good friend Kevin here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm not bad. Thanks for having me on, Mario.
Oh, good. It's always fantastic. It's going to be a very short edition because of a short match, and it was more just to give everyone an update for those who didn't hear the details. I'm pretty sure everyone already knows the details, but the match was abandoned after Benfica was at 7-0. I did get a message from one friend that was actually on a flight, and he landed, and he made a comment saying, "Hey, what the heck's going on here?" And I was like, "Well, we're up 7-0, match abandoned," and explained the details. So yeah, that's all today's going to be. Is just a quick little breakdown of what happened. Faz with the tough game. You know what? I gotta say, if we weren't up 7-0, I would be very disappointed with that setup. But yeah, let's quickly go into it. I guess you could say. I will say SofaScore did not even give a actual rating of any kind. They didn't even bother doing it. They just pretty much listed the players, and I'll kind of show you what they have on their website. And if you go to any website, you'll see something similar, where basically they just listed off the players. And as you can see, here's the players that we had and the players that they had. Obviously, they started with 9 players. The situation was basically they got riddled with COVID at Belenenses. Complete train wreck in terms of the league, how it managed, and more details have been coming out over the past hour. And so, as just to quickly fill you guys in, the situation was that Benfica was aware that there was some COVID cases at Belenenses. They were not told how many cases there were. They were told that the match was going to proceed. They inquired, okay, what's going on for tomorrow's match? We're good to go. And everything that Benfica was told is there's a match today. Show up, be there, be ready. And that's how they prepped and they trained for it. And then as the day progressed, there's more and more rumors of potentially serious issues. Again, Benfica was not advised or told anything other than what was going on, which was a game day, normal game day, show up. This is a big event. And for those who know Liga NOS, when Benfica travels away, it is the biggest payday for every single club in Portugal. And no offense to Sporting or Porto, but the reality is when Benfica shows up at Belenenses, at Maritimo, at Santa Clara, they get the biggest number of fans at the highest ticket prices. So it's a massive match day. And the most lucrative days are Saturday, when you can get full attendance to a certain amount. But yeah, the situation was that they went into the game, and about an hour before the match is when Rui Costa or Benfica was notified that, hey, FYI, Belenenses don't have enough players. The COVID situation's worse than it's been told, and we're basically having to scrap together a few children that we have that are eligible to play, a couple goalkeepers in the outfield, and we can only get 9 men. Would you be kind enough to just not show up and forfeit the 3 points? Are you willing to do that, Benfica? And Rui Costa, of course, was smart enough to say no. We're coming to the pitch. What the heck's the league doing about it? They spoke with the league quickly, and the health authorities, and both the health authorities and the Liga said, no, there's no issue. You have a scheduled game. You show up for your game. If you don't want to play, you take the loss of 3 points. Benfica, it's your choice. So Benfica showed up, and Belenenses fielded 9 players. As people are making comments, 2 of them were goalkeepers.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of one of them, which was a child. Like, it was a very young reserve player that they had. It was a very embarrassing situation. Officially, Belenenses is coming out saying that they were in talks with the league. The league was refusing to do anything about it. And that an hour before the match is when they notified Benfica saying they had issues, asking if Benfica would be willing to skip the match. And again, from the official situation is that Benfica can't forfeit a match. Only the Liga can or the health authorities can. If Benfica had done it, they would have lost the 3 points. So pretty much between a rock and a hard place. We showed up. It was a complete train wreck. It was an embarrassment for Portuguese football across the board. And yeah, it was. You've seen some situations globally in different sports. I saw mentioned for Denver and some other items. But yeah, it's been pretty rough, man. But yeah, anyways, Kevin, what did you think of this situation?
I found the situation to be pretty bad. A black eye on the league itself. If they were advised of what's the current situation and whatnot about the Belenenses players being hit hard with COVID and stuff, I think, and honestly, the game should have been postponed ahead of time. But since I think there's a lot of mixed messages going on out there that tests were done and they were waiting on results. They couldn't get the U19 and U23 players because it was too much of a last minute. I mean, you see now the sports in hockey and NHL, Ottawa Senators, where they postponed 3 games because they had a few players that had COVID and the leagues just postponed their game. So I don't know why the Portuguese league can't cancel a game beforehand because there's so many players. A team has so many players that have COVID and whatnot. Just postpone it and give it another 24 hours. Try and see if they could. Yeah.
The only thing that logically makes sense to me, and I'm being very conniving in saying this, but the logical situation is it's the biggest revenue game of Belenenses. Belenenses postponing the match, the Liga postponing a match means full refund. That means the match gets postponed to midweek sometime down the road, possibly when there's a quieter period in the winter, where there will be less people in attendance. It will not be on a weekend. It will not be on a favorable time slot. It could be even earlier in the day on a weekday where you're going to have very low attendance. So Belenenses was going to take a big loss, which is why the Liga is saying all the information out there so far is Belenenses did not request this game to be postponed. Belenenses did not like the idea. They didn't like the idea of this game being played. They would have liked it if Benfica came in and said, we want to postpone it. So maybe Benfica's paying for the tickets and Benfica's paying the tab for the cancellation, but Benfica's not about to do that. And thankfully, right. And I'll say this much. Last year, we got ravaged by COVID and we were forced to play.
Against Nacional.
It really sucked. The situation also, Sporting had a few COVID cases, same with Pacho Ferreira, and their game got postponed. And that was a bit of a controversy that, other teams' games got postponed, ours didn't. And again, here we got a situation where I think this game should have been postponed. The health authorities should have jumped in. The Liga should have jumped in. And it was a very terrible situation to do. And, if I'm a fan, I bought tickets. I'm going with my family. I'm going to the game. There's a lot of confusion the hour leading up to the game because people were starting to hear information like, well, we're going to go to the match. And they went to the match. And it's, and I agree with Nuno here. This is the exact perfect scenario. Is you have a scenario where he got the full ticket revenue and he got the Liga to cancel the match due to injured players, the technicality, so he doesn't have to refund any ticket prices. They got full max pop for a match that they likely would have lost 3 points on anyways. Mm-hmm. If they forfeited the match right off the get-go, they would have not only had to paid up the ticket refunds, they also might have got point deductions for mishandling the situation. And they wanted us to kind of come in and be solidarity. But again, it would have been us risking 3 points. The Liga could have came back and nailed us 3 points. So in terms of, Fabs, quite a comical show, but very smart. I think it was a very intelligent kind of play. They first didn't come out and the Liga rules is a referee left the pitch, went down to the tunnel, and told them if you don't come in within 30 minutes, you forfeit the match. You're going to get point deductions and fines and other things. You come back out on the pitch with 7 players and a player happens to get injured, we have no choice but to stop play via Liga rules. So that's what they did. Hey, Luca, thank you for joining us. But it's pretty much a situation where they milk Benfica for their money. In a way, I'll say this much. When's the last time you got to go to the game and watch 7 goals within a single half, right? So I hope those fans enjoyed those goals. I don't know what gets to stand if we get a 7-0 victory or a 3-0 victory. I'm not sure what the official rules are. That'll come out very soon. But yeah, it is complete reform is going to be needed. I agree on that one. And yeah, I actually had a small tale. I had multi-screen setup where I had Copa Libertadores on one screen and I had the Liga NOS. And I got to watch Libertarios mostly for a big chunk of it, plus all the madness at the end. It's pretty cool to have a Portuguese
manager. I was watching that too. When the Benfica game was called off, I switched over and I caught just before the goal in overtime. I had to watch some soccer.
Yeah, I had to watch some. It was a good event to watch, but I'll say this much, man. It's you said it before we went live. Kevin mentioned it. 3 points is 3 points, right?
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it go like that, but it's 3 points. 3 points in line. Like I like what Rudy Koch has said. Benfica did their part. They showed up. They wanted to play. They were told that the game was gonna go on and stuff. So I'm just hoping nobody got hurt, and hoping nobody's gonna get COVID out of this again.
Yeah, that is actually my biggest fear, to be honest, is our players got exposed to the virus now, right? There's a risk that some of our guys might get it. Yes, a lot of players got COVID last year and they got vaccinated, but the reality is you can and easily get COVID if you're vaccinated, and you can get COVID if you had it before. It's like the flu. If you got the flu last year, you get the flu this year. It's very similar in terms of how it works. And in that sense, there's always a risk that we could be facing a situation where our guys get COVID. And what do we have coming up right now is Sporting, right? So this is kind of the thing that really irritates Benfica the most, is the league is well aware of the situation. They knew this was going to happen. And if you go and look at the current set of matches, and I'm going to kind of actually put this here on the screen for everyone to see it, it's pretty bad, in a sense. We got Sporting coming up. We got Kiev coming up. This is critical for the amount of money it means for the club to advance in the Champions League. If all of a sudden we get guys in the next 5 days that start feeling unwell, that's kind of start feeling a little funky, and they do the tests because they have to do round testings, and we got a few positive cases. If we got to go with a gutted squad or a squad that's thinned out against Sporting, that would be an issue. So I'll say I got one bone to pick with Benfica, which is as soon as the situation was known that they had basically 9 guys, it was a mix of goalkeepers and children, and that at the end of the day, it was an easy win. Like, truly, it would be an easy win. Like, it would be a humiliation if Benfica didn't shatter these guys. George Jesus, in my opinion, should have started a B team. A B team could have easily beat these guys, and the reason why I say that is you could have easily
9 guys.
Yeah, well, let's say call a spade a spade. Ramos isn't going to be starting many games, so throw Ramos in there, throw Tarat, throw Jetson, Ferro. You can field like some of the lesser guys that we don't start on a regular basis, and isolate them. Like, play this match. The situation is going to happen, and just kind of play it out, get the win. Likely have been similar outcome anyways. We would have likely been leading. And as soon as that match is over, you say, okay, you guys train in your own camp for the rest of the week and leading up to, so just for the next few days to make sure there's no positive cases. Because right now, yeah, and I heard this, because again, we got the information. Rui Costa was notified an hour before the match. So it could have been a case where the 11 was already announced and we couldn't change it. Like, it really was poorly handled. I felt bad at the beginning. I'll be honest. Like, as soon as this lined up, it was, especially I saw a photo of one of the children. Like, someone posted a photo of this kid on Twitter. He literally is a child. And then you kind of see the game starts off. You get the own goal. and they're so pinned in, and then you get another goal. I'm glad our guys didn't celebrate, and it just, in a way, maybe we could have taken it off the gas. But part of me, I kind of wanted to get at least like a 3-0 quickly, and then take the foot off the gas. So to me, just pass it around. Don't go near him. There's one part where I saw Darwin chatting with a guy from Belenenses, like he was side by side with him, just talking, like early on at one point, and it stopped you play. I'm like, dude, get away from him, man. What if that guy's infected? Just back away.
Did you see him try to do a bicycle kick goal?
Yeah.
He was trying really, really hard to get like 4 goals today.
Yeah. But yeah, now you got like, yeah, I got a few comments for a few Portistas, say, oh, I don't know, just using this as a shit kind of comment from Benfica. For me, it's like, go fly a kite. Like, there's nothing we could have done. We're snookered, and now we're at risk against Sporting, and worse yet, we could be at risk against Kiev if we kind of encounter that. Plus, we all of a sudden got the draw for Portugal for the Taça. That's the other big announcement. We're having basically back-to-back Porto matches in Porto. So Taça Portugal on December 22nd, and then the Liga around the 29th or so, end of the year. So this is going to be a pretty tight schedule, and this is the last time period you really want like heavy injuries or people being out with COVID, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it'll be pretty wild.
Take it one day at a time, and maybe start suggesting to the players. Okay, for me for the next month, don't go all venturing too far into the city. Just stay, train, stay home. Go back to doing the stuff they did before. Just when the COVID was starting to hit really hard, just trying to keep your visiting people that keep your circle much smaller now, especially for next month. I think this next month, December, is going to be very crucial for Benfica for the rest of the season, and I think for the country itself. So just trying to keep your little circle as tight as possible and see if.
We'll see. I truly hope there's no issues. I really do. Because you just don't want there to be any kind of complications, especially I'm being selfish with our players. I will say one thing. It's kind of hilarious because someone made a comment about Darwin. He got his goals. Well, I got to figure out if these goals get to stand or not, because it was a good way of us padding some of our stats. Get a couple of these goals. Get who's gonna get the golden ball? Imagine Darwin or Seth or whoever. If one of the guys that scored today get the golden boot by just one goal in Portugal, these guys are gonna lose their mind. More so, I was gonna howl if we win 7-0 and somehow Porto, Benfica, and Sporting are tied at the end of the season, and it goes down to goal difference, and because we got the 7-0, we get the edge up. They'll lose their minds, and I think what will happen is nuclear war. But but I think the reason why the game wasn't canceled is greed. It was just Belenenses didn't want to refund the money. They wanted to keep every last euro, and I think that's the sole reason why they did the way they did.
See how many fans were in the stadium at the game? Like almost like one little corner section was just Benfica fans, and I saw only 2 Belenenses sad fans, like 2 on the camera. I don't know if there was more. Probably was maybe no more than 50. But like there's got to be at least like 2,000-3,000 fans, and they're all at Benfica. You can hear them during the game. They're all chanting,
they're loving
chanting, it. And I mean, look, the players got to be professional about it. They got to do what they got to do, and part of me kind of wish that the Belenenses players they continue on playing and play the game. But I understand their point of view too, that it's a very tough situation. And I'm sure it wasn't fun for them, but it is what it is, I guess. It's unfortunate circumstances that's going on.
The attendance from Tom. He said officials around 10,000.
9,500 was Benfica fans.
No, but this is again. It's if you watch I like watching Liga NOS. If you watch Belenenses versus Setúbal, you'll see an empty stadium. If you watch Belenenses versus Marítimo, empty stadium. Belenenses versus Porto, they'll get like 5,000 fans. Like this game is the game that'll get them the most attendance. And Benfiquistas have complained for a very long time that with these matches, the ticket price is always inflated. If you look at the ticket price for Belenenses versus Marítimo or Belenenses versus Porto, it's actually cheaper than Belenenses versus Benfica because they know the Benfica is going to come. They want to see their team. They're going to pay up, and this is how they pay their bills. It is this one match for the season, and this is why they didn't want to cancel it, because if they rebooked it, it would have been midweek, and it would have been less attendance. It would have been less money.
The more you think about it, I think that makes a lot more sense of why they continue on the game and the game like that and that note, because that way they wouldn't lose revenue of the game. They wouldn't be penalized. And who looks bad in all this? Well, the league, partially too, they should also done a better job at that. But also too, you see some fans that are pointing a finger at Benfica that they wanted to play no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the money. I think that this is where the league has lacked leadership for ages. Boris makes a comment where you can't have a league
Yeah,
doing this. And for a very long time, including pre-COVID, as soon as COVID happened, and even as what we saw today, they'll never show leadership. They'll look at Benfica, Porto, and Sporting and see if the three of them have a consensus of how we want the league to run. And they'll kind of listen to us three if we're ever in agreement, which is very rare. They don't consult any of the other clubs. They don't care about optics. They don't care about anything of sort. It's quite terrible how it's looking. And yeah, and also I agree. Belenenses, the real one, is in the lower divisions, rebuilding, growing back up, and B-SAD is like an MLS expansion team that they bought a team basically that was in the first division.
with a White Castle logo.
Yeah, and basically like exactly. And they that's it, man. They're making a go on it, but they pretty much are like an exhibition team. Like if I lived in Lisboa and I didn't have I don't know, whatever, man. I live close to Belenenses and I want to see Benfica play, I'll go watch a game, right? Like that's what I'd go see a game. And that's what you see there. It's usually it looks like people just coming out just to watch a match, not actual real fans. If you look at some of like the Stubble versus Belenenses type matches, you'll see like the Belenenses and the lower division having similar, if not more, right? But it's super close. I've been there a few times myself. It's a nice. I love the view. The stadium has a very like the horseshoe look with the lower end, and you can see like
We've
parts of the river.
when we were there in 2014, we actually walked next to the stadium. But I didn't know there was actually like an entrance you could actually get into the stadium.
Yeah,
on
it's
the side.
very open. Yeah,
I didn't know about that, so we just happened to walk up, and we were tired from that. It was a long day of walk, so happened to be by there and walked next to the stadium. I was like, so it's a really cool stadium, and
yeah.
it's a team that has a lot of history. I like their logo. They have one of the pretty cool logos, and the fact that it's another Lisbon rival. I saw when I was in there. When I was there also in 2014. I watched one of their game. A Benfica game was against Belenenses too, and they got a good, decent amount of fans. So that to me is the real Belenenses, and not the
Well,
Belenenses.
and that's where the Belenenses plays in the lower divisions, like where they're playing
Yeah.
at the Chamor. It's again, it's a pain in the ass for parking, man, to actually get there. It's a neat place to go to. I've gone there a few times, but it is a pain of an ass to go. But there's been talks about actually. I saw this comment here by Juicebox. They have actually been debating about. I heard at one point of Vadu. They're shopping around. They're looking at different parts in Lisboa, different parts. They're looking for a market.
You're
That
looking
they
for a
could.
stadium.
Yeah, they need a field that's affordable. That they can play at. The Jamor seems to kind of work, but it has like zero maintenance. It's a terrible situation there. They needed proper grounds, and whatever, man. It's a club that technically, I'll see this much. I got little empathy for the original Belenenses because what they did is they borrowed far too much money via their SAD. They didn't pay their debts, and the debtors collected. And the security was the football team, the main 11 players, and the bench, and the rights to the first division team, and that's it. Not the logo, the name, and the stadium is Belenenses, and that they restarted a new team in the lower divisions. But that's why these guys, you got to be careful with the debts, and some of these Portuguese guys sometimes are very reckless with the way they manage money. But yeah, okay. So let's kind of back to the game for a quick second. 7 goals. What was your favorite goal out of the 7 goals?
Weigl.
That was, I was gonna say that's
where was that?
That was a wild goal. I actually, as soon as Weigl did that, you noticed after that more and more players started just shooting from outside the boxes. Come on, these guys are like a mess. Just shoot the ball.
Shoot from far, and
my God.
The PK, I was like, give it to Odie or somebody, but then I think that would have been making a mockery of the whole situation that's going on. But I understand why JJ started Seferovic. He wants to get his confidence up, and I'm sure scoring now. It won't erase what happened in the midweek match there, but he's got to get on the score sheet no matter what. It always helps a player's confidence. Weigel's goal, Julian Weigel's goal is really, really phenomenal. The long range shot. Don't really see him do that too often, I find. And that's something I find that our players should do more often, is trying to, whenever I have possibilities, crank it on the net. And good things can happen. It could be a rebound, could be a deflection going in. Now there's crosses in, or trying to, trying to do. Sometimes they often lose the ball in the final third. So or they don't know what to do. So just take a shot on the nets and see what happens.
Exactly. It was. I felt bad. The first goal was like, oh my god. It was quite funny actually. The defender that got the own goal in there, he got up and gave shit to the goalkeeper. That was quite amusing to watch. That, man. It was. You can already tell it was gonna be a train wreck. Yeah, Seth again missed a couple of friggin'. He had a 1-on-1 with the keeper. Like, oh, just again. This guy.
His foot goal was pretty good today.
Yeah, I hope. I don't know. Coming up against Sporting, I guess if we look ahead to that, this was more of a rough practice match. But the real challenge now is Sporting.
I'd still start him.
You'd start Seth?
Yep.
I wouldn't. I would kind of go with what he's been kind of doing. I wouldn't mind the idea of starting kind of what we've seen in past matches, where he goes with the three guys on the front, except what I would do is I'd have Everton, because Everton lately has been on form, have Rafa, and have Darwin. Throw lots of pace up front, and then do your regular, like you do your Weigl, your João Mario, Grimaldo, Gilberto, and then the three in the back. And I don't know if he throws Almeida again at the center back role, which I think is what he's going to be doing a bit more with. It wouldn't shock me. Today, if you kind of looked at the situation with the match, you had Almeida starting again, and you had Lazaro there also as a fullback, and he's experimenting with the idea. And then he had Grimaldo also, right? So you kind of had I could see Almeida. He's going to start against Sporting. That's probably the thing that's going to scare the crap out of me. We'll see you later, Boris. We're about to wrap up ourselves, to be honest. But I agree on the speed, man. I think the Everton showing on form. Rafa's fast. Darwin's fast. We need that against Sporting. I think it'll be kind of good. But yeah, man.
Do you think JJ's going to be the conservative against Sporting in the beginning, or is going to play more defensive and then spice it up in the second half?
I think with the formation we play, and this is kind of one thing I dislike about it, but it naturally almost goes defensive if things aren't going well, because you already got the three center backs, which now Almeida's one of them, and you got the two full backs, and you have a defensive mid and Weigl. If things aren't going well, they all kind of collapse back anyways. The challenge is, like, you got to get control of the match and break forward, and that's where I think if Sporting's really kind of pushing the pressure on us, having guys like Everton, more so Rafa and Darwin, that can really break away, that's going to be critical for me.
Yeah.
So I'm hyped. Only thing I'm disappointed about is timing. I understand it actually works out to our favor. Friday against Sporting, then we get a bit more rest against Kiev. It's actually a good thing for Benfica. Just selfishly, time zone sucks, so I've got to try and see if I can catch the match or not. And then later on we got Porto after Kiev into December. Man, it's gonna be a crazy. This is a make or break time of the season. I know we say this lots of times, but I think that's what it's gonna be, man.
Yeah, I think that draw is gonna make it. It's not an easy draw, but you know what? Let's try and get them out there right now.
Yeah. Well, I get it out of the way. Hopefully, it's all good on that side. Okay, I'm gonna switch it to the Sharice the match, play the match real quickly. Just give me 1 second. Boom. And let's just throw in let's throw the video for fun. So this is more of a gag for me, but to be honest, Sharice the match goes to the league and the health authorities for not canceling this. They're the ones that are supposed to do it, no one else. And then a joint Sharice with Belenenses for not pushing the cancellation hard. I don't think they did. Play of the match was when the guy went down injured in the second half. And I would also call him the player of the match because he put them out of their misery.
Foul.
And you know what? That's the only logical thing I could have had, right? So, but yeah, I think that's the only thing logically for me. I don't think there's anything we could celebrate. Like, I'll take the 3 points, man. It's an embarrassing 3 points. Mm-hmm. We did nothing wrong. We showed up. We did our bit. We could have got harder to the net. Our guys weren't playing that hard. They're letting them move a bit. That's it, man. Anything else you want to add into it?
No, everything was pretty much said, and it's just it's a shitty situation, but 3 points and move on. Hopefully, the blowback won't be too bad tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll say this much. Actually, I forgot. I was talking to Joe and Luigi and Mello because we have a side chat. Um, that's never a foul. That goal is a legit goal for Darwin, but I think the ref at that point, I think it was 3-0 already, was just playing the empathy card. He was like, "Come on, guys, I got to give them something."
Oh, we got a
I bet.
PK.
Yeah, we got the PK, but it was one of those things where.
I mean, last year we struggled to get a penalty, and today we got one. Ref could just okay, whatever. It was an accidental, arm up and play on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it is what it is.
Man.
Shorter show, shorter match, 3 points. Pressure's on Sporting and Porto now to get their results because we temporarily are ahead of the table. And we got Sporting coming up. Joe Mario's home visit to Sporting. No, actually, sorry.
No, it's at home.
It's
It's
at
at
our
the
stadium.
Luge.
Yeah, it's at the Luge. So
Yep.
he gets an easy ride into the first match against Sporting. It'll be good, man. I got to be confident. It'll be tight. And congratulations also for the Copa Libertadores. That was a huge win from a Portuguese standpoint.
Back to back.
Back to back, kind of basically see now 3 years in a row where you've had a Portuguese manager win a Copa Libertadores. Very, very huge in a sense, especially back-to-back winners. That doesn't happen very often. Just a fun fact: the most winning managers, I think, are Argentinian, then Brazilian, then Uruguay, and Portuguese managers are tied with Colombian managers as the fourth most. Because it's mostly just the same. I think there's a Croatian that had won it before in the past. So it is a situation you have many foreign managers there. It's pretty cool. It won't shock me if you're going to see now.
Another cool fact I heard is that there was also the Asian Champions League this week or something like that, and Lino Jardim won as well. So like you have British coaches like winning these major tournaments all over the world. So like Asian Champions League, about Ferreira winning the Copa Libertadores.
It'll be good, man. If it gets more eyeballs from Brazil, more eyeballs from the Middle East, because you saw it, you get more eyeballs globally. The fact that Moscow went and got Ruvitadia, the fact that like clubs internationally and leagues internationally go, man, maybe we look at the Portuguese league, let's pull a guy. Because Abel Ferreira, he didn't, not trying to be offensive, he never did anything overly amazing in Portugal, one of the big three. It's the fact we're starting to see what I would almost consider mid-table managers or managers that might have had some experience in the big three but weren't successful. With Braga, getting a lot of attention and getting more experience. And the more managers we got out there, the more it encourages scouts to come to our liga and kind of mine it a bit more, develop a bit more. Because the Seleção, we didn't talk about the qualifying here, so the Seleção needs more options to pick from. I'll quickly I'll touch on this, man. What do you think? Turkey, then Italy. You feeling confident?
I don't know. I don't know.
Joe busted my balls because he's like, this is what I don't think I said this live on the air. I can't remember if I did or not because I want too many getting too much being that show. But I pretty much made a wisecrack saying, give me Turkey first round, give me Italy the next one. Let's make it hard and brutal. And I got my wish.
Let's pass Turkey first, then we'll see what happens with Italy. But Portugal, man, I also do things the most. Everything has to be the hardest way, the most complicated way. Can't do things simple. And now we have that old dinosaur as a coach, and I don't know.
I think it'd be. I think the Portuguese faithful would be there to be cynical about the situation. Sanch deserves a tough one. He's got to earn his path to the World Cup. It's a tough path now. You earn it. At least you earned it the right way, I hope. I don't care if it's ugly or pretty, just we got to earn it now. If we got two extremely easy, I got a little friend there, right? Yeah. If we got very easy teams and we barely limped our way to the World Cup and all of a sudden it's just fine Sancho being there. No, you got to earn your spot now. You earn it, and if you fail, it's on you and you're done.
Exactly.
And we have the talent, man. You look at it. It's funny enough after the debacle with the Seleção, how you looked at the Champions League and you saw Ronaldo get man of the match, you saw Bernardo Silva get man of the match, you saw, my God, 2 other guys got man of the matches in Europe this week, which I'm forgetting their names now, which is terrible.
Bron Silva, I think
Silva had it.
apparently had a very good game. He had a very good game this week.
Silva had one. I know.
But that's the thing that's frustrating. Like we're almost pointing the finger at Santos and stuff, rightly so. But the players still on the field, like they should have done better. They should do better. We have the quality to do much better than that. And to the draw against Ireland midweek, it's unacceptable. And then the result of the lose, like it's unacceptable with the players on the field. You don't have to require to have Santos as your coach. Talent on the field on itself should be enough to get 3 points.
It should. I think the talent should. I think that the talent is there. This is what will carry Fernand Sanch. But we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen now. I hear this rumor that potentially we'll play with 3 in the back. I've heard about that. I agree. Italy's just as scared. Italy's looking like a train wreck. Like I literally it's a perfect matchup. I'm happy, man. I tell you this much. I'm overconfident. We're going to beat the Turks. We're going to beat the Italians. And if we don't, we can say we got knocked out by a respectable side. We got knocked out by the Euro champions or
North Macedonia.
Or North Macedonia. Could you imagine? Macedonia. Then they
beat Germany, eh?
Then they knock out us. That to me, good on them. I will not say a nasty word about the Macedonians. I'll go eat some gyros or gyros or whatever they want to call it.
Anyways, well, I'm not too focused on Portugal right now. I'm more focused on Canada making a World Cup right now. So we're getting a better chance.
We got USA coming up here to my neck of the woods, so I'm looking forward to it, which is just wild. And we just kind of covered this a bit earlier. In short, COVID galore with players. They shouldn't have played. They didn't want to cancel the match because they got all the ticket money from the Benfica. That's a record attendance for the season. If they canceled it, they would have lost their money. So therefore, they played on. And now they're crying victim when it was their choice. And match was canceled basically because they faked a couple injuries to have less than 6 players or less than 7 players on the pitch. But yeah, it'll be crazy. It'll be crazy.
That sounds right. If we finish 4th, we'll play against New Zealand. So, but we're not finishing 4th. We're finishing like top 3 for sure.
I hope so. It's very tight group, extremely tight group. But it'll be crazy. The fact that they're moving the game on Team Canada from BC Place to Hamilton. For those who don't know, man, it's in my backyard. It is like the stadium. It's like a football stadium, like American football stadium style. They play Canadian Premier League games there, but it's turf, hard turf. And it's a wind tunnel, and you're talking the middle of July, and like you're gonna be maybe the windchill's gonna be like -20 or some shit easy.
January.
January. It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be freaking. Me and Kevin we're gonna go to the game, but we're talking about 3 pairs of pants, a couple toques. You're gonna like go with the nines.
Do you know why they wanted to do it in Hamilton? Because the travel,
I guess.
Because they're doing Canada's playing in Honduras on the 27th.
Yeah.
And then the 30th, Canada's hosting the U.S. And then they play on February 2nd in El Salvador. CONCACAF kind of screwed up on that schedule. They should have made Canada play the 2 games, scheduled them to play the 2 games in Central America.
Well, I think the original idea though was BC Place because it's a covered stadium, right? So BC is normally more mild temperatures of all of Canada in the winter, plus a covered stadium wouldn't have been as bad, but. Whatever, man. I possibly get to watch Team Canada versus Team USA, so I am hyped. And me and him are going to be looking out for tickets. Anyone that's going to the game, let us know. We're getting a big group of us to go, and Canada, and hopefully Portugal. We're going to find out later this year what the frig they're doing. But in the meantime, we got sporting, and that's it, man. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for tuning on.
Ciao.
Peace.